expanding the other one, we can allow that.
So you're making the other one not an 81P.
With that,
The other one's not gonna be an 81P. Because
yeah, but we're not taking anything away.
no, you had to do it, but it still won't be a conforming lot.
No, it won't be a conforming lot,
Okay, it's 7.
but in it'll,
I don't know. I thought it would be a.
I mean.
I don't care.
I don't think they have it noise right now. Seven.
Make a motion to accept the meetings for January 11th, 2021 as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
James Quirk, aye.
Barry, aye.
Bob Anderson, aye.
Bill Ambrosino, aye.
Damon Tenio, aye.
Thank you, Damon.
All right, as you guys just heard, we have some virtual attendees. Gail, do you have the names and addresses of all those attendees?
I don't have their names.
All right, we need to
They need to
record them
Yeah.
in the attendance sheet.
give me their names then. I know Larry Pearson.
Everybody knows Larry Pearson.
No, it isn't. 6:59.
Larry.
This is 7:02 on mine.
I don't know who that is.
Is it Jack Hunter?
It is, I'm here.
Oh, Jack Hunter.
You don't have
Hey, Bill.
How we doing today, Jack?
Every day's a bonus. I'm retired,
Travis. Come on,
sort of.
come over here.
Everybody virtual, could you please state your name?
You can hear him.
Can anybody hear me virtually?
You might.
Oh,
I don't think they can hear us, Danny boy.
All right, we need to make sure that everybody is
Everyone
provided
needs
their
to,
name.
yeah, everyone virtually, please, could you one at a time state your name so Gail can record you, please?
Tom Morelli, 52 Millville Street.
Okay, next.
Barry
Justin Vance, you
Pearson.
wanna go?
17 Granite Circle, Millville.
Sorry, can you say your name again?
Harry Pearson, 17 Granite Circle, Millville.
Okay, Larry.
Next.
Next.
Anyone else?
Jeff Stefanik, Gurrier and Halnon, land surveyor.
Next.
Jack Hunter, Keller and Williams.
Hey, Jack, I got you. So there's just,
Brian, you wanna go next?
and is there just 4?
Brian?
Oh, Brian?
This is Brian Nelson from Metro West Engineering.
Who's Bobby C? Duncan, can you give your name and address, please? Gotta take it off mute.
You're on mute, sir.
There you go.
Thank you.
Name and address, please.
Sure. Duncan Chapman, 131 Littleton Road in Harvard, Massachusetts. KW Government Services.
His first name?
I didn't.
Could I have your first name again, sir?
Sure. Duncan, D-U-N-C-A-N.
Thank you.
Eric, you wanna go?
Eric? It's very hard to understand.
Eric, you're next.
Still
Put it in
muted.
the chat. I'll send it to you, Gail.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Pat Gelli? State your name and address. Take it off mute. You
Hey,
gotta
guys,
take it off mute. There you go.
Okay? Pat Gelli, 42 Milford Street, Mendon.
Pat Gelly, okay.
Gail, did you get Eric yet?
I got Eric, but I didn't get his last name.
Go ahead, Eric.
There's two Erics on the line.
All right, well, you can go first.
All right, Eric Hodge, 3 Bate Street.
Thank you.
Eric,
We have a Bobby C. I'm not sure who that is.
In the chat. I'll send it to you for Eric. Yeah.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you, Dan.
is there a Bobby C in the virtual?
I don't know if you can hear me, Bobby Capizzello, 153 Beaver Street, Milford, Mass.
Okay.
You got some cakes, Bobby?
Sure, come on down.
Is there anybody else virtually that hasn't signed in?
Ann Mazar.
Ian Mazar?
Yeah, wait.
Technology is your field, Ian Mazar.
Can't.
We can hear you. Just state your name.
I'm sorry, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, name and address.
50 Pleasant Street.
Fran has their hand up. Oh, they're on mute, so.
Dan, do you have 12 people on virtual?
1, 2.
Good, all right, we have everyone then.
Okay, second.
Carry on.
Thanks, yep.
Okay.
All right, so we'll move ahead with the agenda.
Lot 1 Applewood.
Yes, Lot 1 Applewood. I did some research on this this week, and the lot within the Applewood development can be handled through an 81P to resize that lot. Fortunately, I think you would need to go to zoning to redo the other lot because it's non-conforming.
Even though we're making a non-conforming lot larger, it's still non-conforming.
One thing about the 81P process is, whenever you're submitting an 81P, it needs to be dimensionally to the size. So what I would suggest is to go to zoning and get relief from zoning, and then we can handle the 81P for you.
Okay, so we'll go to ZBA, go for variance,
Yeah,
come back to you guys.
yeah. But you're gonna need an 81P for the resize of the lot on Applewood also.
Yes.
Just to get recorded, yeah.
I'd get the zoning variance, then go for the 81P.
Yeah, well, he's gonna need 281.
No, you won't get an 81P here because it's not the right size.
Yeah, but he'll have relief from, yeah, I guess, but he needs to, somebody needs to record that redraw.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, yeah, just come back to me. Do you have an 81P prepared on the Applewood lot?
The only one I have is the one that you have, the Mylar.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your Form A.
Presented at the last meeting.
Yeah, Lot 1A, what's 1A? All right, so we can process this 81P, resizing the Applewood lot. And we'll have to go for a variance on the other one. Because
Okay.
that has to be recorded, obviously.
Yes.
All right, we can take care of this one.
Okay. So you're going to sign the Mylar tonight and we can pick it up sometime this week.
Yes.
Great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We have land planning here for 101 Blackstone Street, 81P.
Is there any way that on the screen, Dan?
You can just hand it to me. We'll take a look at the.
Blackstone Street is 80%. You got a variance, so long back, so it's 107 plots. They'll have about 25.
Variance on this already? Do you have a copy of that variance?
Yeah, fine.
Could I see that?
I can change the date.
That's good.
It has been recorded?
The registry stamp.
Yeah. First thing I look for.
Absolutely.
Oh, I guess I did. Hold on.
The applicant on this one.
Didn't know today.
The applicant is, petitioner is Andrew J. Fisk.
Thank you.
Looks to be in order. Can you give that to Gail? Gail, file that with the, All right, so that being in order, we have 81 Ps for
Yeah.
all with,
Yeah, you didn't date these either. Stayed on them.
you're showing 9.7 acres, 60,000 square foot upland. You don't have a exact on the upland, just for,
I didn't want the numbers.
okay. It's obviously, yeah, it's obviously. How many you here, 3?
4 total. Andy's house is
Yeah.
up here, so it's not off first.
Okay.
Are you doing 4 lots on this?
No, well, yeah, they're doing 4, Andy's
Okay, I just
original
wanted to make
and
sure it
3
wasn't
more.
too much.
3 additional.
Yeah, okay, so it's,
The 25.
okay.
All right, with the variance, it
I
meets
don't like to
the,
overcharge.
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, want to see this?
No, I'm sorry, again, what's your name?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, the variance for this, so, and there's plenty of upland on the,
Is it HALSING?
I mean, these are all 400,000 square foot lots. They're all almost 10 acres apiece or greater.
Okay, so this is natural 81P.
I mean, with zoning relief for the frontage, it meets all other dimensional requirements of the town. So I don't see an issue with it. Anybody have any questions?
I'm good with it.
Do we have any questions from the community, Dan?
Nothing in the chat, but I don't know if anybody has anything to say.
Does anybody have any questions on this?
No hands are up.
Yeah, apparently not.
Ready for a motion?
Yeah, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the 81P for 101 Blackstone Street as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Barry, aye.
John, aye.
James, aye.
Bill Ambrosino,
Damon,
aye.
aye.
All right. So we have another one to sign.
We have another set.
Very much.
Good night.
Yeah.
Just give us a few minutes, because we don't want to mess up with the other one.
Gail, I'll stop and sign that tomorrow.
So
Okay, Damon.
I'm going to be at another meeting at 7:30.
Yeah, go ahead, sure.
You'll take the Mylar, and thanks a lot.
Okay,
Yeah, where's the Form A?
Right here.
right there. Yeah, Damon.
So I can pick it up and go tomorrow?
Yeah, Damon.
Unless you wanna wait, I'm
Damon,
gonna-
what
I'm
time
gonna
are you
do it right
coming in
now.
tomorrow to sign?
I'm doing them right now.
10 o'clock, I'll be by.
You get 4 of us, you don't have to.
Okay.
Just wait 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, all right, yep.
All right, see you
Okay.
later.
All right, so I don't have to sign it?
Nope.
Okey dokey.
Good, how are you, John?
Good. Busy?
Enjoyable. Keep some time going, right?
That's good.
Good sign. That's applicable.
Thank you.
Take care, Andy.
Thank you, John.
See you later.
right, Mr. Hunter, you're up.
Thank you. Duncan Chapman's here. He's actually the lead on this. I don't know if you want to say something introductory, Duncan, before I start.
Sure, Jack. Thanks for the intro. Yeah, great to be at the planning board meeting today. And I know Jack's had some discussions with the head of the department, prior to this. We've been under contract for a number of months now and have a few projects that we're going to be working. This particular development opportunity, great piece of property, great location, right at the intersection, obviously of Route 16 and North Ave. Bodes well for the town and to be determined, obviously, what the final development is going to look like based on input from the planning board and other departments. So we look forward to working this project, with you and in front of you and, taking this forward. Thanks, Jack.
Sure. So I guess I'll introduce myself, Jack Hunter. I retired back in August during COVID. My history, real brief, is I was planning director and community development director in Carver, Mass. for 11 years. I was planning director and community development director in Holyoke for 15 years. And my last stop, I had a few other little ones, but was in Hudson, a little closer to you guys. And I retired there in August. So I've been in front of a lot of planning boards. I've known Duncan for quite a while. Once he found out I retired, he'd asked if I would take the lead on this project. And so, of course, I met with Bill and we looked at the site and had a good conversation. I've met with the town administrator twice virtually. And just to get, some background on this parcel and what the vision of the town is for it. Obviously, you want to sell it because you hired Duncan's team. So I did a little background on it, and I'm going to tell you things I'm sure. But it has some impediments for development, according to what you want to develop. You have no water, no sewer, so it has to run on septic and wells. That would limit most likely to about 85 bedrooms total, maybe 100 if the developer got creative, and less if you had any commercial aspect to it. And my conversations with Bill and Kim was a desire to, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, was a desire to have mixed use and over 55 housing. So and there's also about half of the parcel to the east is habitat priority, which is not impossible to deal with, but it's another hoop that anyone who bought it would have to deal with. And the good thing is I'm again telling you everything is location. It's a wonderful location near the downtown. It has 2 curb cuts. One's a little tricky, I think, on Hopedale Street, or maybe. So, and the other big issue is that it's not zoned properly for mixed use or over 55. My recollection of the zoning map says there's a small strip along Route 16 that's commercially zoned. And then the rest of the parcel, quite a bit of the parcel, is zoned residential single family. So without changing the zoning, you're probably limited to maybe 7 or 8 house lots if that's what you want and that's what you sell it for. Again, if following Bill and Kim's lead, I started looking at mixed use zoning. And it would have to be, in my opinion, an overlay, and Bill agreed with that. It's a little easier to do, and it doesn't tie you down as much in permanency as the underlying zoning. And so at least we had preliminary discussions with Kim about having me work with the planning board in any board and commission you feel necessary, or any person necessary, to kind of develop what this vision is. And because, you know, you want to sell the parcel, obviously, and you have some dreams about what you'd like to happen there, but you want to hit, as I always call, the sweet spot, where it's an attractive development that's beneficial to the town, and it also does not have as much of a negative impact. And there's a sweet spot there. I don't know what that is. And by sweet spot, I mean how much density, how much traffic, how much design, how high, what it looks like, landscaping, buffering, the whole 9 yards. And it's a trade-off. And so, and what I really don't know is what the development community would have in mind for this. I mean, we could come up with a great grandiose zoning plan, and the development community says, well, I can't build that. There's no market, it's too expensive, et cetera, et cetera. So we were asked by Kim to, and I drafted a request for information. And Kim has that now. She has not gotten back to us on the review of that. But essentially, we would send out the request for information to the development community. We would have probably a virtual pre-bid, if it's not really a bid, but a pre-information conference with them. We would probably walk the site if they'd like to, talk to people if they'd like to, and then tell us, you know, what they think, if it's viable, how they would see it. And I think that is a healthy path to go on, because, you know, you'll have the town's vision and you'll have the reality of what a developer can possibly do. And maybe we can find some common ground to draft a bylaw that is acceptable to you guys, but also acceptable to a good quality developer. Now, having said all that, we'd have to do this before the Maytown meeting, and it's coming up quick. And, you know, there's certain procedural requirements that 40A dictates, especially having a public hearing, et cetera, et cetera. So if Kim gives us the go-ahead, I'm going to have to work pretty closely with the planning board and anyone else. I don't know anybody in town except for Bill and Kim, and start drafting a bylaw with your help and getting the input I need, and simultaneously do this RFI so that sometime in March, hopefully later March, maybe early March, we can get all that information and come up with a bylaw we can all live with. So that's where I'm at. It's exciting, but you know, I've done this for a long time, and I just want to make sure I get it right so you get it right. I mean, you're trying to sell the property, so you want to make sure it's sellable, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Jack, could I interrupt you for one moment?
Please.
James Quirk, Planning Board.
Yeah.
So there is opportunity for water on that property from Hopedale. And I've also had a conversation with the sewer commissioner from Hopedale asking if Mendon would come aboard with them and use their treatment plant. And I think that would greatly change the dynamics of that property. I'm not 100% an expert on this, but I have had conversations with Hopedale on a definite guarantee of sewer anyways, and water, it would be something the selectmen would have to address.
Yeah,
But
you know, Bill did mention this, Kim mentioned it, Duncan mentioned it. We took a little tour of Hopedale and where the water supply is. I've done this before. I've done it in Carver, where Carver had no water and sewer at all. And we went to all our neighbors. Nobody wanted to give us water. And so we ended up building our own water system, the first from scratch in the Commonwealth in quite a long time. And it was completely for economic development reasons, not for, and a little bit environmental actually, but not for residential reasons. Yes, you could do that, but you're probably talking 2, 3, 5 years. And I'll leave that up. You know, I haven't been told you wanted to sell it now, I've been told. And someone's got to pay for it.
The water is already on the property. The water is piped right down to the property.
Mr. Chairman,
Well, no one ever told me that. I'm not aware of that.
The water is piped right to the property.
Dan wants to ask a question.
Oh, yes.
Who owns the pipe?
I'm in the back.
Actually-
Water board, hopefully you can hear me.
Actually, Dan sits on the water board. Go ahead, Dan.
I don't know, and maybe Mr. Quirk was able to get a little further than we did in terms of discussion. As far as I know, the water service is terminated before that property. They only supply who's listed on the contract.
Yeah, I think there's a pipe there though already.
The water commission never told us over the Cape Road system, they aren't allowing new connections. I don't know if we didn't talk about this side of town at all, so I have no idea, but it's definitely a little complicated.
Well, I think, I think moving forward, we can look at that as we go. Maybe we need an outreach to Hopedale to solid answers on that. I think for now, we should move forward, looking at the property as it is, with the possibility of these other things. What I would like, Jack, is a copy of that RFI, please, if I could.
I'll email it to you as soon as I'm done. It's a draft. It has not been approved by Kim.
That's fine. I just want to look it over myself, make sure we're looking at, making
You
sure.
know,
Kim and I
this
are on
whole notion of the water line, I'm very curious about that because we, again, had the same situation in Carver where Middleborough had water in Carver, not a lot, but it had a pipe. Middleborough owned that pipe and would not allow any more connections. And they tried to extort us for like $2.5 million for the pleasure of opening up the pipe to us. And so I'm telling you, Hopedale's going to be looking out for Hopedale, and they should.
Jack, I just want to give you a little bit more information on that. Is that pipe was put in by the previous owner of the property, the owners that the town bought the property from. So I'm assuming that the pipe is probably owned by the town now.
By the town of?
Town of Mendon.
Yeah, the water's not.
The water's not, but the pipe is owned by the town of Mendon.
Yeah.
Because the pipe was put in the ground by the Finos that own the property.
You know, it all begs the question to have the darn property surveyed so we know exactly where it is, how big it is, and who owns it. News to me. I'll talk to Kim about this and Bill a little more, but I'll do what obviously the town would like.
What ended up happening many years ago, Jack, is we had a contamination issue on Route 16. There used to be a gas station at the top of the hill. And so there's an outflow of gas into the water system. So we were granted water just about down to where the drive-in is.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, which is across from the other piece of the property we also own, on the other side of the Mill River. So the pipe is at least there. It said to have been moved further past that, but there's no hookups allowed past that. That's where we would have to negotiate with Hopedale. And, I think we could utilize a service like CMRPC to help with Hopedale, and because it was federal money that paid for their system.
Yeah. It also, you got to make sure the pipe is of the right size to service now a new development. It might have to be replaced. I don't know. There's a lot of issues.
the Finos put a pipe in they had a plan in place for 180 condos in there.
Well, there you go.
Duncan here. No, I didn't know the water was that far across from the drive-in. I was the broker for the solar project that went in on the town-owned land. And, a couple of administrators and other folks that we talked with. So that's actually great news that it's that far. Kind of as noted. And, again, we look for your input from everybody.
Unfortunately, Duncan, I don't want to get too far off track with this.
Yeah.
You've been down this road with Hopedale before. I think for right now, we should move ahead with with what we know. And then if we can get working with Hopedale, that's fine. But we need to prepare. Mendon's looking to move this property, and we need to be prepared. Now, if we can somehow, obviously, do that, or maybe even the developer get involved with Hopedale, those may be opportunities for us. Maybe the developer throws money at Hopedale. Who knows?
It might be worth it to them.
It might be worth it to them, exactly. But I think we need to head this in a direction. I don't think we can afford to sit on this property. Real estate's probably as high as it's been in a long time.
Yeah, and I would agree that, no matter where the water comes from, how we're going to zone it and getting the approval for this upcoming town meeting, should be the goal, as Jack's already outlined.
And I can talk to Kim, and we can talk as a board. We can put together the bylaw, take it to town floor, and hopefully the people see it as we see it. But I'm not as concerned about the rezoning, the overlay district. I'm not as concerned about that. I think we can meet the town meeting in May with no issue.
Excellent.
The question is, and that's why I asked for the RFI. I want to make sure Kim and I are on the same page, and the board is on the same page as what we're looking at. But
sure.
I don't believe, if we put together a good, strong bylaw on what our anticipation is that will go in that overlay, then I don't think we'll have an issue. I don't think we'll have a problem.
So the outstanding items is I need Kim to approve the scope of services to draft this bylaw and the RFI. I will send you both, Bill. But I'll tell you, we need to really hustle on the bylaw to get it drafted because, you have to publish and have a public hearing, and it all has to happen before May, whatever your town meeting is.
Trust me, when I showed up in this seat, Jack, our zoning book was 9 pages. It's now about 79 pages.
Yeah, you did a good job.
So
that's what I got. I think I'm going to be coming to a lot of your board meetings until May.
Well, we'll get a move on it. I'll try and reach out to Kim tomorrow, and then we'll get together and start producing a bylaw, an overlay district, and as long as the community, it's something the community wants, and just like any town, it's up to the people. But this, I think, sitting in the chair of a town planner, I think this is a good direction for Mendon, but we'll see what the people believe.
Just gotta take it one step at a time.
Yep. Gentlemen, is that all we got for tonight?
That's all I got for you. I hope to come back to your next meeting with an outline, and I'll have a whole host of questions to ask you, like buffering and density and mix of uses and things like that to help me fill in the blanks.
You could provide that before the meeting, Jack?
Oh, yeah, I will. I just haven't even started because
I got you.
I didn't know what was going to happen.
All right, and you know, maybe somewhere between now and then we start an outreach to Hopedale. But before I let you guys go, Dan did have something to.
Yeah.
Maybe I can chat with you offline.
Sure.
I'd like you better than getting into an open meeting.
Yeah.
Bill.
There's a lot of politics with the water.
Yeah, where you sit on the water commission, I don't want you to step outside your.
What's the actual address? You know that?
That would be great to know because I've seen 3 different addresses.
Nobody? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry? Jack, did you say something?
I just would like to know the official address because I noticed you used a Milford Road address, and I believe the assessors or somebody gave me a North Avenue address. Maybe that's too.
Yeah, it's kind of broken up. Half the property is broken up to a North Ave address. And I think half the property is broken up to a Milford Street address.
Okay.
So that's something else we'll have to obviously resolve. But it's one parcel.
Got it.
Yeah, the number they used, Bill, puts it way up on, almost by the high school, so definitely got the wrong.
That was the incorrect address, on the original. Okay. No, I think it's like, it's 3 North Ave and then, it's like 12, Milford Street.
Okay.
It says here 20 to 36 Milford.
Oh, 20 to 36 Milford. Well, 36 is the other side, so
Yeah.
it must be 20 Milford Street.
Yeah, 36 is definitely the other side. That was we used for the solar RFP.
I can get the correct address from Gene, the assessor.
Yeah, if someone could send me that. I had 897 North Avenue. I don't know where the heck that is.
Yeah,
There is no 897.
Yeah, you're in Upton.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll sell their property too for you. We'll get that straightened out.
Further item, Duncan. You negotiated the deal on the solar and the lease on the solar. Is there a potential to, because I know that they only lease the rear half of the property.
Yeah, I've already had a discussion with Blue Wave, who was the original developer. I need to get over to the current owner and they'd like to do that extension, possible extension, onto the, the rest of the lot. My thinking and talking with Kim a little bit and Jack a little bit, you have the Muddy Brook Conservation Area right there. If we could get the solar developer to expand to basically to the west, I would like to see that type of opportunity and have them go ahead and build a parking lot if that's what you guys ended up deciding, meaning the town, to provide a bit of a parking area for access to the conservation and walking Muddy Brook, etc. But yes, you're thinking the same way I am. Let's go back to the current owner of the solar and see if there's any interest in expanding. That would be a pretty simple solution versus trying to bring somebody else there. I would say with the discussion that water is there, when we originally advertised for the property, we were certainly looking for, retail or commercial development. But that the site, as you know, it is all ledge, no sewer, and now we find there's water there. That's good. There was very little interest, in commercial development along the street there.
How long ago was that, Jack? 'Cause, I mean, obviously the climate's changed. Medical building development has peaked in this area. We've seen these medical offices popping up everywhere.
Right.
So.
That was good. That was a good 4 or 5 years ago when we did that. And again, we were marketing it, as I just mentioned, both for commercial as we were developing the solar opportunity. And it worked out just to have that back section, which obviously visually from Route 16, there's no visual, ability to see the solar development. So that was a bit of a plus. And it still leaves, for future development, the front 10 acres, as we're talking about. So, no, absolutely. If you guys have other thoughts, would like to get that into, into the thinking, and I can advertise that any way we want to, try to seek out what is the highest and best use development, for the property as we enter, 2021 here.
Yeah, I just think that'd be a great opportunity for men to have some type of medical, whether it's doctor's offices or whatever. A lot of these sports clinics have popped. There's one in Franklin. There's one in Northbridge. It might be for the town to utilize a piece of property and bring service to the town.
Right. Well, and certainly that would be a possible use for the mixed-use development. If we're going, residential primarily and some commercial, some retail, that would certainly be a consideration, for the north lot as well. But
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I won't keep you guys any longer. It sounds like we've got a lot of work to do in a short period of time. So I'm sure I'll be talking to both of you.
Excellent. Thanks for having us tonight.
Very welcome.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, board. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Was there any before you go, Duncan? Was there any questions from the community?
Was there any questions from
the community? I'm just because we're on a virtual meeting here, so.
Hey, Bill?
Yes.
Quick question. This is Damon Tenio, Planning Board. There is a conservation restriction on that piece of property. How would that end up coming into play with this? Would that end up having to get lifted?
No, I don't see that. It's the way I saw and I may be wrong, it's a strip of land along Route 16, and then it opens up at the bottom along the brook. There's a curb cut that's not in the restriction that certainly would be allowed, and then there's the curb cut on North Avenue. So
All right, I know it's just that it takes up.
Maybe someone else does. I don't know.
It takes up 200 feet from the street back. So I just want to make sure that everybody, that's a real selling, that's kind of not an appealing selling point. But I guess that's something we can talk about.
Well, it could be a selling point for over 55 residential because they don't want to be sitting right on top of Route 116. They probably want to have a view in some protected space. So it goes both ways.
Okay.
I just don't know enough to say. But
I think Ann pretty much had exhausted the route to try and move the conservation restriction. I think it's almost an impossibility once you put them on. So I don't think that's a road we need to go down. So I think with the mixed use, with the retail in the back, and certainly the services we would look to provide, maybe some type of rehabilitation center or medical office, I think that would still do well sitting back off the road. So I don't think it's as big a big an issue for that type of development, so. Good.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, Jack, there is a curb cut from Route 16 that goes in and out,
Right.
and you've got North Avenue. And the conservation land is 20, Milford Road.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
then the one that's down the hill across from the drive-in is, the 36. And then I think the piece behind that conservation land is the North Avenue address.
Right, right.
And also, actually, I think if you wanted to sell the land and convince people at town meeting, I think keeping the conservation piece on there would be a benefit to your cause.
You know, it's very interesting, for residential mostly. Open spaces is a positive, not a negative for good residential development, so.
And aren't there 2 curb cuts on 16, or is it just one?
Well, there's an in and an out, enough that you could have an in and out right next to each other, so.
I thought there was down lower too, but maybe not.
I think that's under conservation.
Where is that? That's like, just down the hill a little bit, right, Ann?
It's where the conservation land ends and it touches the Pheno property. It's right on that edge there.
Like almost at the top of the hill, okay.
I guess that's all we have for tonight.
All right, I'll be in touch. Make sure you talk to Kim, somebody.
All right, send me that stuff. I'll get with Kim as soon as I can.
Yeah, I am a little nervous about getting this all wrapped up by town meeting, so I need to act quickly.
Gotcha.
You have to act quickly.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right.
All right, so that takes care of that. The Bruno Moriera
Was canceled.
was canceled. So that brings the special permit application for 103 Uxbridge Road. We need to set a meeting for what's the date?
We did, February 8th.
Yeah, okay, we have a meeting, we have a meeting on February 8th, and it's in regards to,
The marijuana.
yeah, the marijuana facility on Route 16. There was a error in the voting, and so the entire special permit has to be run again. So we're going to have a hearing on February 8th.
Yep.
And a revote on February 8th.
This is the one at Gaskell?
No, this is the one right,
Wilson's property.
I'm sorry?
the Wilson, next to,
Hideaway.
next to Hideaway.
Hideaway Pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will rehear that public hearing on February 8th.
Right.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay.
Anything else?
We have one more item. We have
35 Cape Road.
35 Cape Road. Site plan.
It's a submittal.
And this is only a site plan, right? There's no special permit requirements.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
Yeah.
That's that and the plans. So all the ones that go out to everybody else after.
All right.
These were also submitted with it.
Open it.
Brian Nelson is the one.
Yes, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but this is Brian from Metro West Engineering.
How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. All right, so we have, what do we have? Cornelia?
That's it.
Yeah, they have thing and everything.
Oh, so this must be the regular plan. Okay, that's 11.
Yeah, there should be one full-size set of site plans, one set of lighting plans. There should be architectural elevations also. We submitted one full-size set of each, and then there should be, I think, 9 or 10 sets of 11 by 17 copies of all the plans as well.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to come over and look, or? No, that's just it. All we got is the large plan.
Just a building.
The buildings that are there are being removed.
I think they already got approval to demolish the house on that property.
Okay, well, that obviously goes without being said. They have to meet that requirement anyway, so it's not our jurisdiction.
Well, it's already been approved, so
Okay.
they're all set with that.
Oh, this is Kimpton's, Bates Street's right.
Oh, okay.
Bates Street, yeah, is just south of the property.
House,
Yeah,
Bates Street House.
It's not a fair.
Yeah, I'm not, this is the proposed building. How many feet is that from the entrance to Bates?
Roughly about 200 feet, but I can actually, I can get back to you with an exact distance. I don't have a full-size set of plans in front of me to scale from, but I can do it from the reduced set.
Also have an entrance at the entrance of Bates.
There are two entrances, one entrance proposed for the site at the southerly side of the property, and then there is one existing entrance for the property on the north side, and that presently is the location of the gravel access road for the solar farm behind this project.
Yep. It's a proposed 31,000 square foot building.
That is correct.
And
So one-story commercial building that is about 85 feet or so off the sideline of Cape Road.
what is the use for the building, or is it?
The use will be mixed. We are working for a client who has one tenant specifically in mind for the front portion of the building. And then the other part of the building will have flexibility to be, you know, basically kind of carved up and rented out to different tenants, more with an industrial or commercial type use.
Yeah, as long as they're aware of the zoning table, the use table. Want to make your client aware of that use table?
Yes. Yes, we've looked at those.
Okay. What we'll do is send these to Jeff.
I already spoke to him. He's picking them up within a day or two.
All right, we're going to have our engineering consultant look them over. He'll be.
So you have to set a public hearing date?
Yeah, we're going to, but we're going to, obviously ask for his input regarding the entire, and then we'll address any issues with him at the public hearing, which we'll schedule right now. I have a motion.
February 8th.
No,
That's gonna be too close.
too close. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, no February
meeting.
8th, the 22nd it'll have to be.
20 seconds.
Make a motion for public hearing for 35 Cape Road, February 22nd at 7 PM,
Well, you don't want to do it
7:15.
7:15.
7:15 PM.
Second.
All those in favor?
Barry, aye.
James Quirk, aye.
John, I.
Bill Ambrosino, aye.
Damon, you still there?
Damon Tenio, aye.
Must fell asleep.
Hey.
I was trying to unmute real fast.
Right,
Roll call.
you just did.
Oh, okay.
All right, we will see you on the 22nd. Could you provide your contact, is it on here?
Yeah, our contact information is on the title block at the bottom right of the plan, and we've
Okay,
submitted some documents with it too that should have my contact information specifically on it. But I can provide that to Gail if needed as well.
because our engineer will probably reach out. He likes to tackle this stuff, you know, as early as possible before the meeting, so he might be a little busy right now, so I'm hoping he can get it done by the 22nd. But we'll reach out to him and let him know what the hearing date is.
He already knows.
All right, so that concludes that.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a good night.
You too.
Take care.
Hey, Bill or Gail, it's Eric Hodge at 3 Bate Street. I just got a quick question.
Sure.
Is that something that I can get a copy of the plans for, either, you know, by coming down or get by email?
Is there a possibility you could send a digital?
I have extra.
No, a digital copy.
Oh, no.
We can send along PDFs of the plans and drainage reports if you like. That's not a problem.
Yeah, because it'd be, but Gail does have an extra set here. Brian, if you want to come down and,
I think it's Eric, isn't it?
Eric.
Eric.
Oh, okay, Eric. If you want to come down and pick them up?
Sure.
Yeah, just call me when you're outside the door. Make sure you have your mask on and I can give you a set.
But if you
Okay,
can
thanks,
provide
Gail.
those in case anybody else wants a copy, that'd be great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Okay, the only other thing is you have to sign Damon's Mylar there.
Okay,
Everything else is okay.
all right. And that,
That's it.
that disposes of tonight's agenda. Does the community have any questions? Okay, other than that,
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
all those in favor?
Barry, aye.
Damon, I.
Aye.
Bill, aye.
Who's that?
Okay.
Good night, guys.
Have a good night.
You can pick it up tomorrow, Damon.